So this episode, once again, much like the last episode, is a mix between the official source material and the original material that took place in the manga. For those who don't know, the manga goes through these things called retcons, where Murata or One wants to rework a chapter, so the chapter gets reworked. So we have a sort of beta version of the manga before its official release, and the official released manga. Both official in their own right, but one is in the physical manga and the other isn't. For example, if they were adapting the official version of the manga right now, we would actually still have a sort of side quest story with Atomic Samurai's apprentices and the elite assassination group sent in by the Hero Association. And they come into contract with one of the higher-ups in the Monster Association. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything because this is a character that 100% will show up in part 2 of One Punch Man Season 3. But needless to say, there's more or less a 50-page span of story that just was ignored for this episode. Instead, we skip over all of that just to cut straight with the pseudo Blizzard group. We cut straight to this basic one-to-one panel recreation from the manga of Pig God eating a load of monsters. Personally, I think that the transition in the anime doesn't hit as hard as the impact sort of frame that we get in the manga. When Gums is about to eat Pig God, the anime, we see that shot for like a millisecond before we cut straight to a completely different POV. Now, to be fair, very loyal to the official manga in its recreation in almost every way, with only 1 or 2 panels not being adapted. In a lot of ways, the Bug God fight is incredibly loyal to the source material. Apart from this panning shot of Bug God's super monsterized state, it falls really flat because they realistically are only using 2 tones of green to shade his entire body, while if you look at Murata's art, there is insane depth in that design. And this is essentially a still image with minimal animation, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to hit the same, if not similar, levels of detail within this design. There's loads of differences within it as well. We can see in the line work that they've tried to depict extra sort of spinal cords coming out of his back, along with the 101 other details. It's just that because the texturing is so flat, it suffers because of it. With that being said, I'm really happy with Super Alloy's depiction in the episode so far. There's one note to be made. Yes, his design face-wise is vastly different, but that's mainly because they're probably trying to dodge the fact that Super Alloy Darkshine isn't actually black. Some minor differences in the fight overall, though, are that Bug God actually gets to land a myriad of punches in that second assault he does to Super Alloy Darkshine, and many of them hit, doing negligible to no damage. Then Super Alloy Darkshine is supposed to one-shot him. But in the anime, simply when he is doing his dash, I suppose, towards him, he gets eviscerated in one blow, in the same way, but doesn't get his attacks off in any capacity. Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. snack boxes just arrived at my front door, giving me a tiny bit of Japanese winter to my home. Tokyo Treat is a fun, exclusive monthly box packed with the coolest and craziest treats from Japan. This month, Tokyo Treat theme is Snackin' Wonderland. We got the double berry Kit Kats, which by the way, are phenomenal. I'm always amazed about the weird Kit Kat flavors that they have in Japan, and I love the fact that Tokyo Treat delivers me a Kit Kat almost every single month. And I had loads of personal favorites from this bag. The golden potato chip rings, phenomenal. The Falala French salad potato crisps, also divine. I was spoiled for choice this month with Tokyo Treat. And I can get all the information I need for all my snacks from Tokyo Treat from their delightful information booklet telling me where all of the snacks came from and all their flavors, because I don't speak Japanese, so I can't read the box. And Sakura Co. We got a beautiful plate, something that my mother immediately robbed from me, along with the tea, which she does every month, by the way. Winter must be the best month of the year because I got so many things I absolutely adored. Like the grilled prawn crackers, divine. The cheese cashew nuts, oh, perfect. And of course it was all perfect because their theme is holidays in Japan. A big thanks again to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. for sponsoring this video. So check out my link below for the seasonal deal and use my code Josephu to get $5 off your first box. Alright, back to the video, because I'm done pretending I'm saving any of these treats for later. This is one of the areas where they decide to add more detail in the anime instead of the manga. See, in the manga, it's a few panels. You don't actually get to see Saitama rip a bone out of a body and bring it over to Overgrown Rover. But for some reason, they over-animated the crap out of this, and it really gives this comedy bit more charm than I think it would have done if they went with their usual shot-to-shot approach to the comedy scenes. But in that interaction with Overgrown Rover, Saitama survives the blast and stands still giving this line, rather than giving the line while he's gliding across the wall. And that's mainly because they added another shot of Overgrown Rover attacking him as he dashes backwards, using that explosion or attack to transition into the shot of Saitama running along the wall and delivering this sit moment. They went with the official version of the interaction between Nyan and Saitama here, basically being one-to-one with the manga. For some reason, in the first few panels of this fight, Murata's aura he's drawn for Tatsumaki is so much more detailed than it is usually, and in contrast to the anime's essentially outer glow effect, really fails in comparison to its design. However, the fight in general, overall, is very close to the source material. There's a few missing panels. However, whether it was due to censorship or just time restraints, the impact of the rubble that Tatsumaki launches towards Gero Gero here is far less detailed than it is in the manga. In both the initial impact, the wound that is left, and in his transformation into his true form. And when Tatsumaki is blending him, it's not as gory as it is in the manga. Censorship has been a known massive issue, but however, it still looks really cool. And we get a bit of gore at the end when its body takes its proper form again, and his torso is just spewing blood everywhere. Green blood, but blood nonetheless. It is way worse in the manga, however. Now, the Saitama versus Lord Orochi fight is the one that has the most differences. See, much like Child Emperor fight in previous episodes, it's a hybrid between the official material and the pre-retconned material. Lord Orochi's introduction in this scene is one-to-one with the official manga. However, as soon as the official manga hits chapter 115, we cut to the retconned manga, chapter 108 of the retconned manga. They reused this shot of Lord Orochi in the anime when it's supposed to be an entirely new angle and shot compared to its retconned manga counterpart. The transformation sequence between Lord Orochi's super snaked form to his more humanoid form is vastly different than it is in the manga. There's multiple panels of transitioning image, while in the anime they simply cut to this distant panning shot of these weird fire tentacles moving about. These are supposed to be the fire dragons he has in his hair, but that's really not very clear in any capacity considering they're just worms. We're supposed to get a change in perspective shot here when Saitama is doing his monologue, which is basically telling him he doesn't give a crap about what he's saying. He's chopped and washed just like everyone else he's come up against. We miss two really quite imposing perspective shots that were in the manga. So just for reference, I will be marking a difference for every single panel that just wasn't adapted. There's an entire sequence missing from Lord Orochi's blast. We see snippets of some of the other characters' reaction to the lightning discharge from this blast reaching them. Although it's very difficult to see who is who in the anime because there's this weird filter on all the reactions. But we're supposed to see a absolute enormous reaction from the city above and a train line coming to a screeching halt because, well, the tunnel in which the train is going through has just completely stopped because of the goddamn hole that was left. And they start to see Saitama running. That's the perspective shot. Add a bit of gravitas. Instead, they skip over most of that just to cut to Saitama running along the edge of the crater. The anime added a lot more animation that was in the manga in that transaction with Lord Orochi. Saitama does a lot more dodging, and we actually get to see where he gets the momentum to, jump up to take that punch. In the manga, he simply just jumps through an energy blast to do it. But they add a little extra sauce in the anime, which looks phenomenal, by the way. Genuinely peak. Only negative I can come up with this punch is that we don't get to see the almost cylinder that Saitama makes of Lord Orochi with the punch. Other than that, absolutely cinema. This fight goes in an entirely different direction in the official manga. See, Lord Orochi's mask was just that, a mask. He takes it off and he turns into an entirely different beast, and the fight takes place where Lord Orochi's body falls to in the anime and pre-retconned version. there's this temple with a sigil of Lord Orochi consuming all the monsters and the monsters consuming humans. This is the same location from in the official manga, but how Saitama defeats Lord Orochi is entirely different and is almost hilariously stupid. Lord Orochi starts to talk about prophecy, and a prophecy that was foretold here, with him being the obvious demon or god depicted in it. It's revealed later that that's not the case, but that's not what makes this ridiculous. It's the fact that Saitama is supposed to use the boiling hot water that is being heated by the Earth's core as a hot spring here. He gets in, he's initially in pain or at least discomfort, and then he just gets used to it. Lord Orochi then begins to monologue about how he's, the big cheese, launching a insanely powerful attack against Saitama. But Saitama just squirts a bit of water in his palms, making a squirt gun, and eviscerates Lord Orochi with it, following that up with a punch to finish him off. And in the manga, we then see the mural reveal its true self. The creature that gave Homeless Emperor his power is depicted above everything in the mural. And we get this really interesting shot of the crevasse that they fell into being revealed to have the moon almost looking down at them. And the shape of the crevasse and the indent on the moon make it look dramatically like an eye. But that is all the differences we spotted in this video so far. But there's something else we need to talk about. Hey, it's me. This is the last episode in this series, anime versus manga, for One Punch Man Season 3. And although we're getting a core 2, which honestly I'm happy about, because it means I get to continue making these videos with you guys, but that's in almost 2 years' time. So I want to let you guys know what I plan to do moving forward. I want nothing else but to maintain the relationship. Relationship's a bad way to put it, but I want to be able to make content that you guys will enjoy. So I have a plan for next month that I'm going to show you, and I would love to hear feedback from you guys. This is my calendar for next month. I plan on covering a load of different animes with the manga versus anime series. It's going to be a retconned or a changed version of how I did it for One Punch Man, but it's still going to be the same series, same counter, same. The videos just probably won't be as long, and they're going to be focusing on the main differences rather than pointing out every finicky little detail. Although it's fun to be a contrarian and to be a bit anal about all the tiny little differences, it's something that isn't very fulfilling. So I'm going to be cutting that out next year. But I'll be doing it for many anime. First being My Hero Vigilantes. It's a series that I personally love. It's, in my opinion, better than My Hero Academia. Then next we'll be doing Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, if it wasn't obvious to you guys, I like JJK, and I have a lot of the volumes, and I read it physically. So I literally have only read the volume 26. So the hype for the series is still really present in me, and I really want to deliver that into the anime versus manga series I do on it. But if you notice, what's beside that is Free Ren. So I will also be doing anime versus manga for Free Ren next season, and Fire Force. Now, Fire Force isn't my favorite series, but I respect Fire Force on so many levels. Mainly its style and creativity. Its fan service, not something I like. But regardless, I'll be doing the series for that too. But the biggest difference will be that hopefully every 2 weeks I'll release a video that I'm going to call What Happened. Now, the two videos that were sort of breakout hits on this channel were my Gangsta video and my What Happened to One Punch Man. These two videos really kind of gave me hope and the drive to try to take YouTube on as a full-time gig. Still don't make any money really off YouTube, but it gave me hope that it's possible for me. So I'll be returning to doing that style of content, hopefully every 2 weeks. These are going to be hyper edit videos, and with scripts that I'm genuinely proud of, with decent analysis, instead of the usual this looks different from this that you get from my manga versus anime videos. And this is where I'll get my fulfillment from. Doing these videos is going to be my passion project while I deliver what I think you guys need from me as a creator. So needless to say, I will be very busy next month, and that is next month. It's temporary. I'm going to see if I can pull it off, and if I can't, I'll do my very best to do so for the entire month. But also, I just want to thank you all for watching overall in general, right? Because I've had regular viewers for these videos, and that means the fucking world to me. To know that a group of people is actually coming back to watch my videos. And although I've been covering topical stuff like One Punch Man, I would like to think that some of you will stick around for the next month or even longer because of what I can do. But regardless of whether you stay or our journey ends here, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because your presence is what's giving me the drive to keep this going and hopefully making my dream my reality. Thank you so much for watching.